Want me to? If you need a hand with anything, just let me know.
There, that's tight now. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. There we go.
Here we go.
Okay, we've been recording on 1 minute and 52 seconds of me setting up my camera equipment. We're Heidi Ho, Canadian freedom fighter. Start description. We want to go public. On or off Facebook. See more.
So I'm not gonna park. I'm not gonna be parked here either. I'm gonna park somewhere else.
Okay.
But I'll figure that out when I leave here.
Done.
And then I can throw this on you when you're ready.
There we go. We're working.
Okay.
So,
Make sure this is going here.
News Now Victoria is just putting on my...
Pardon my reach. There you go. You're good to go.
And we're good to go.
Okay. So you want to go through this little. It's not very disabled friendly, but maybe give you a hand getting over that.
Yeah, and actually I'll get you to point me in the right direction.
Yeah, you bet.
So we're out on Vancouver Island, visiting with News Now Victoria, Not So Silent, and we're doing the RCMP in
Langford,
British Columbia, on the
Oh,
island.
there's one pulling out. So you want to remember where that statues were?
Yeah.
You want to take a left. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll be there in about 10 minutes.
See you later. And according to News Now Victoria, this was the worst RCMP station that he's ran into. So we're gonna see how bad they are to me. Heidi Ho, Canadian freedom fighter, and I'm live on Facebook, and I can't tell if anybody's leaving comments, but if I get into the shade, I'll see what's happening. So this is a trip out to the island that I planned specifically to video with News Now Victoria, Not So Silent. And I've been on the road, Sunday will be a week. Oh, I see there's their main door. So we don't want to get arrested on this trip. We just want to have fun. So we're just gonna sit down and catch my breath. So hi Stephanie, I see you're there for me. Thank you for watching Facebook. I see I got 3 people watching, and this is a learning experience for Heidi Ho, Canadian freedom fighter, because I'm a severe brain injury survivor. So this trip was all about learning that I can do things better. So Stephanie, if you want to leave me a comment, I see I got my comments will appear here. It's a good thing I'm in the shade. Stephanie's a girl I met watching Facebook, and the first time I saw her, she was going into a gun dealer sport to, I believe, buy ammunition, but she was wearing see-through panties as a face mask. I thought that was hilarious, and we've been friends on Facebook since. And Stephanie goes live all the time. Really appreciate watching your videos, Stephanie. So Dan gave me a GoPro chest mount just because, and he was arrested at this location. So again, we're not here to be smart on this trip. If I have to voluntarily ID under protest rather than being arrested, I'll happily do that. But nothing worse than being arrested where you don't know anybody. So in this case, it's better to be a non-jerk than a jerk. I prefer being a jerk. There's some things I can't mention. I have a friend that we won an appeal on. Can't say what the appeal was, but it's going to make his life way more better. So we're just waiting for 30 days to pass, and then I can upload the appeal that we won. And it's a really important appeal, but I can't say what province or what it's about, so that we don't screw it up for him and they try taking back or appeal our appeal. But we beat legislation, so that doesn't happen very often. So after we finish this West Shore RCMP, which was the worst one on the island, we're going to go off to video the best response that News Now Victoria, Not So Silent, has videoed. This place here, if I remember what he told me, they actually seized his equipment, and it took them years to get it back, and they falsely arrested him. So a big schmoz. But anyways, life is life. If you want to be an auditor and practice our fundamental freedoms, you're going to have people that want to give you a hard time. And remember, if you don't practice your fundamental freedoms, they'll be taken away from you, and you won't even know that they're gone because you weren't practicing them. So in Canada, our fundamental freedom is public photography. We can videotape police, anything that we can see from public. And even though police make us delete our videos, that is against the law. So I won a case in Abbotsford, British Columbia, where they deleted my videos, and the videos showed me being assaulted, but that thin blue line, that goes everywhere. They're bad with that thin blue line. So they protected their own. I had a witness. They say the Crown Prosecutor, even with my witness, won't proceed to press charges against them. But since they deleted my video equipment, that is damages that they did to me. So we're working on suing them on that aspect now. So you never know how things go, because lawyers don't want to do anything to help us, because it's an infringement of our Charter of Rights and basic fundamental freedoms, and they can tie you up in court for years. So as a medical marijuana licensed user, in 2013, Health Canada gave everybody in Canada a letter saying that they're no longer in the drug selling business, and that you now have to buy from licensed producers, except on our license it says you may choose to buy from a licensed producer. So we can buy on the black market, which is cheaper than a dispensary, and if you know the right people, cheaper than a designated grower. You can't get it any cheaper than if you know somebody that is a grower, that is a friend. So my license is good for 16 pounds in my possession. that person at the front door, he is a cop because he's wearing a gun. So it'll be interesting. And I think this is going to be one of these videos that nothing happens. And it's a nice looking building though, for a Crowbar Hotel. There's nothing better than staying at the Crowbar Hotel because it's free for you and for me. It's just that once you're in the hotel, it's very hard to get out. They don't have a check-in and check-out time. Now, isn't that weird? So, anyways, needless to say, I think this is going to be one of those videos that there's not much action. No action Jackson. But they probably learnt their lesson from News Now Victoria, Not So Silent, and learned to behave themselves. So such is such, such is such. Anybody that's watching, I'd really appreciate if you hit the like button on YouTube, because that sets the algorithm. The more likes you have, the more chances you have of having your videos randomly seen. Subscribing is always free. Leave a comment is greatly appreciated. And hit the bell and hit all notifications, and every time I do an upload, you'll get notified that I've produced a video. So again, I think I'm really lucky. I have 127 subscribers. I need 1,000 to go live on YouTube. Thank goodness for Facebook, you don't need any subscribers. And I've got just about 7,500 views of my videos and on YouTube, and for being a nobody, I think that's pretty impressive on my part. Just remembering that some people get 10,000 views in one day, but everything takes time. And I started this as a hobby because I have been an advocate against the rentalsmen, provincial and federal, for over 22 years now. I've never lost a case, so I feel quite lucky. And when I found out about our fundamental freedoms, I said, well, geez, Heidi, you just cannot stand injustices. This is right up your alley. So I think it was August 16th or August 1st was my 1-year anniversary. So I'm quite happy with that. I wasn't expecting to ever get 40,000 subscribers and get paid by YouTube. But what I was expecting was the enjoyment of practicing our fundamental freedoms, which again, if you don't practice, they'll be taken away, because that's one thing that they don't teach, especially the police, is that we have a Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but the only thing they learn is what they were taught in their 6 months of school, which is mostly going to the gun range and learning how to put holes in our bodies so that we leak fluids. They're never our friends. When they're talking to you, they're only trying to get information from you so that they can hem you up. So it's your legal right. We don't have what's called the Fifth Amendment, but what we do have is we cannot self-incriminate ourselves. So under no circumstances do we have to talk to the police or even give a Crown prosecutor a statement. When they want a statement from us, they can put us on the witness stand. And again, even though we do get arrested, nobody in Canada can be arrested unless you're about to commit a crime, you're in the process of committing a crime, or the crime's been committed. But just because you're a suspicious person doesn't give them the right to ID you. They have to have reasonable, articulate suspicion that a law or a crime is going to be broken. And that's just not a, well, I think that you're videotaping in public and that must be a crime. No, public photography is protected under our charter. We can film anything that we can see from public, except we're not supposed to videotape inside private people's houses. But once you step out of your house, you have no expectation of privacy. So that's that. And that is that. So we've been videoing for 22 minutes since I first started setting up my equipment. And I don't think we're going to get any contact. So would have been nice if they would have come out and asked what I was doing. But it looks like they're going to get a pass, which doesn't happen very often. But I think they must have learned their lesson from News Now Victoria, Not So Silent, to don't horse around with us. Because all we're doing is practicing our fundamental freedoms. So there you go. And if you encounter the police, grab your cell phone and start recording. It's for your protection. In Canada, we basically don't have cops with body cams, but if we did, those body cams are always conveniently lost. So if you don't video to protect yourself, you'll have no protection. And it'll be their word against your word. And you know whose word's going to be taken later. It ain't going to be your word. And fortunately, the camera doesn't lie. So there's your objective that you didn't do anything wrong. You weren't doing anything wrong. You were dealing with a tyrant. And we don't like tyrants. And we don't like violators. Because a violator, as far as I'm concerned, he can take off my badge and that clown suit that he's wearing and go get a job. If he wants to serve people, he can get a job at Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King. And no offense to Wendy's, McDonald's or Burger King, but if you want to serve people, serve people. But when your badge says serve and protect, it doesn't say violate and arrest. But that's what they do. They're just violators. And myself personally, in my whole life, I've only ran into 2 good police. One of them, I was videotaping the federal criminal psychiatric criminally insane federal penitentiary, and the cop was so disappointed on how the guards behaved, he took me out for a coffee. Oh, I'm getting the cam back. I just saw the camera flash me. So there you go. But anyways, that police officer bought me a coffee, and he wasn't impressed with the guards because they tried battering me right in front of him. He wanted to steal my camera, and camera's an extension of my body. So he was disappointed with their behavior, and we met up at a restaurant and he bought me coffee. I was in my disabled electric scooter, so he drove to the restaurant, and when I got there, he had a coffee waiting for me. And the only other cop that I ever ran into that was a good cop was I was videotaping the police parking lot entrance and exit, and he asked me what I was doing, and we went blah 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 blah, and he said, "Can I ask you your name?" And I said, "I don't identify," and he said, "I understand that." And we had a nice conversation, and that was the end of it. But everybody else that I've ran into have been scum buckets and violators. So I don't appreciate scum buckets or violators, because I'm an advocate, and that stands against my whole principles of why I'm an advocate. But in 22 years of being an advocate, I've never lost a case. I tell people, if they're dealing with somebody and it's going to go to court, hide your camera, record it, get him pissed off, and see if he will admit that whatever he did, he admits to and tells you to screw off. And then when he goes to court and stands up and takes the witness stand and lies, then you stand up and say, "Your Honor, I'd like to introduce my phone into evidence. I believe that possible perjury is taking place." And myself, I used that personally 3 times in small claims court, and I can tell you that the judge wasn't impressed. And I've had 3 of my clients do the same thing, record, and then you never tell your lawyer, you never tell anybody that you can't trust, because if you tell your lawyer, he's got to disclose it in the discovery, and if it's disclosed in the discovery, he's not going to lie on the witness stand. So you have no onus to tell your lawyer that you recorded it, and never tell your lawyer that you committed the crime, because if you tell your lawyer you committed the crime, you lose 80% of the defense that he could have given you, because he's still an officer of the court. So he can't stand up in front of the judge and go blah 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 blah, which is lie 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 lie, because you've told him that you've committed the crime. So never ever ever admit that you've committed a crime. It's up for them to prove that you committed a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. So let the system be the system. So if I can find News Now Victoria, I think we're going to end this stream, because nothing's happening. So we're going to be a little bumpy here. Hello, hello. found my man. So I'm going to shut this stream down. Remember, on Facebook, I really appreciate you guys watching. You're watching Heidi Ho, Canadian freedom fighter, signing out on my YouTube. Oh, and there's Heidi Ho. Hi, Heidi. And we're gonna kill the camera.